Washington is abuzz about last night's 60 Minutes, where they saw President Obama and Secretary of State Clinton sitting down. It was a joint interview until last night's edition of 60 Minutes. Nobody had ever seen it. They revealed to Steve Kroft the challenges of putting aside their once heated rivalry.
I spent time with both of you in the 2008 campaign. That was a very tough, bitter race, and I'm going to spare you reading some of the things that you said about each other during that campaign. But how long did it take you to get over that? And when did it happen?
You know, it didn't take as long as I think people would perceive. As I said, once the primary was over, Hillary worked very hard for me. Bill worked very hard for me. So we were interacting on a fairly regular basis. I think it was harder for the staffs, which is understandable because, you know, they get invested in this stuff in ways that I think the candidates maybe don't. You know, Hillary mentioned, part of our bond is we've been through a lot of the same stuff. And part of being through the same stuff is getting whacked around in political campaigns, being criticized in the press. We both built some pretty thick skins. And sometimes our staffs don't go through that. So they are taking umbrage and offense, and they're reading every blog and every tweet, and and most of the time, Hillary, I suspect, handles this the same way I do. We kind of have a block, a screen from a lot of the silliness that happens during presidential campaigns. And so, for me at least, by the time Hillary joined the administration, I felt very confident and comfortable in our working relationship. I think what did evolve was a friendship, as opposed to just a professional relationship. Friendships involve a sense of trust and being in the foxhole together, and that emerged during the course of months when we were making some very tough decisions.
You said the staff took a little longer to forget the campaign stuff. What about the spouses?
Well,
is that an impertinent question?
What I was going to say, Steve, is having been a spouse, having been a candidate, I think spouses take it much harder. In a way,
no doubt.
Just as the president said, we're out there and we're responding minute by minute, and you just don't have time to sit around and think about what some insult that you've felt you've suffered. I can remember watching my husband do debates, and I was like this, and he was relaxed and everything like that. And then when the shoes were on the other feet, and all of a sudden, this calm, cool guy who never was upset by anything is all of a sudden watching me. So, look, but that is just ancient history now. And it's ancient history because of the kind of people we all are, but also we're professionals.
I thought that was a good point. We're professionals, certainly, but it is a long way from where they were in 2008 and that bitter primary battle where Obama famously said, well, you're likable enough, Hillary.
Yes,
this
indeed.
time they were leaning into each other. There's clearly a warmness between them.
It was fascinating to watch the body language of how they seemed to be really enjoying the process. It wasn't like, do we really have to go through this? It was interesting what he said.
Yeah.